Hello and welcome to another episode of Most Def. That's Mo Simba's definition. And today, like all other days, I'm going to shed light, or rather, speak on a topic that is quite honestly my life. That's just my truth, and you'll just see about it at the end of the day. You'll like feel however you feel about it by the end of the audio. So I'm going to address the caliber of men that are currently in our generation, in our society today. And yeah, it's a big factor that has contributed to my singleness and my single momness, which I'm very proud of. And it was a conscious decision that I made. Yes, though I felt sad that my partner refused to take up his responsibilities and man up to the obligations that were calling to him. I didn't let that dampen my spirits, and I didn't let that be a reason, or the fact that I was having a child with him be the reason for me like subjugating myself to his command, or like submitting to his way of life. Because yes, to be quite honest, it was definitely not planned. It was an off relationship that had just come back on. So it was barely a month when we'd come back on, and then this happened. So it was quite unavoidable, and I couldn't think of terminating or like anything like that. So I had a job, I was working, and it was just a conscious decision. I felt I was old enough. I was 24 at the time. I was 23. Yeah. So I felt like, so what am I going to do now? I'm going to have this baby, obviously. And obviously this man, I loved him. And that's the only reason why I had gone back to him. Because I never used to go back to my boyfriends. I never, like, once we're done, we're done. For me, I don't keep friends with exes. I feel it's like pointless. Like, we became friends because we had an agenda to build something together, right? And we ended up in a relationship, right? So after the relationship is over and we've discovered that each other is scum, you're useless. You're a useless person, and he's a useless person. Both of you are useless to each other. Once you've discovered that none of you are beneficial to each other, once that discovery has been made, why else are you keeping this person around in your life? Why? Because I used to love them. So yeah, it's not like you've hated them now. You're just choosing for them to go their separate ways. You both go your separate ways and wish each other the best. And if you ever meet again in life, like, let it be a nice hi and bye. And I hope you're doing well. I hope things are going. That's it. Why are we still friends? Why are we keeping friendship? So needless to say, this guy really didn't want to like leave me, and so he kept pursuing me. And eventually I was like, okay, maybe I'm like throwing away a blessing here. And anyway, I really did want to like get married and settle down, all that. And the truth is, we had lived together before, and I don't know. Either way, the point here is things just happened too fast, or rather, it was just a surprise pregnancy. Yeah. And unfortunately, when it happened, there's a way someone will react to the news. There's a way they like shift their life around to try and accommodate now the new situation, right? So as the woman, and you're shifting your life around, because either way you have no choice, and you have to, and your whole body is going to change and all these things. So your mind is racing and thinking ahead to the next months to come, and you're thinking about the baby and what's going to happen when the baby comes, and you're trying to have these conversations with this guy. And it's not like he's a youngin. He's not a youngin. He's like almost he's heading to his 30s, and he's hanging around with guys who are already in their 30s, and they have uh, baby mamas and all that. So which is also a contributing factor to why I had to just, dismiss this situation of like imagining a happy married life with him, because you are the average of the 5 people that you spend your most time with. And I understood that a long time ago. And I just looked at his life, and the people he chose to hang around, he had these guys who had baby mamas back in the day when baby mamas were not even popular. Now they're everywhere. Now that time they weren't. So I just couldn't understand. And of course he was also hanging around with gay people. And for me it just disturbed me, because if you're not a gay person, if you're not with the agenda, why are you hanging out with people who you're not, your values are not matching? If your values are not matching with a certain human, why are they a part of your life? I just don't understand that. I understand business. Yeah, we can do business, but business is business. There are business hours. And after the business is done, like, hey, nice doing business with you. See you another time, I'll call you for another contract or something. Not that you're part of my life and like we'll be hanging out every night and getting drinks and shit like that. And you have a pregnant wife at home or a pregnant girlfriend at home. So what are you? You have no business being outside, like just hanging day after day after day. Like, yeah, of course, once, twice a week, that's acceptable. But if you're never around, then it becomes a problem. So anyway, this is like my perspective of the kind of men who are in the society today. Because, at that time for me, it was shocking, because I've always imagined that men are strong, and I've always wanted to submit to a man who, like, of course, loves me and appreciates me and does everything possible to show me that he's the man, and like that he's here to provide the direction that I need for our family, for us to go on, so that I can be secure, safe and secure in knowing that I'm well taken care of, I'm protected, I'm assured in my position. Yes, I don't need you to spend all your day in the house. I also don't want to spend so much time with you like that. Like, it's going to get dull and boring. Yeah, I like it when you're hardworking and you're going out doing your thing, but I expect you to come and eat the meal that I prepared for you. I expect you to come and spend even 30 minutes before you crash because you're so tired, just there eating and talking and just spending quality time together. That's like enough for me. I don't ask for much. So the fact that this person was not even able to fulfill that tiny obligation, and regardless of how many times I politely requested for this obligation to be met, that he couldn't meet it, of course you have to make an executive decision. I've made many executive decisions in my life, and I can't say that they didn't make me feel guilty or like I was doing something bad. But what is important is that I always chose myself, because at the end of the day, you need to choose you over anything and everyone else, because you are with yourself for the rest of your life. So if you make a decision that does not satisfy who you are, then you're going to live with those consequences. So anyway, for me, I just looked at this situation and I was like, nah, man, nah. This guy is a simp, to be honest. He's a Kenobia. Right now, there is the term called Kenobia, but before the term came about, I was already aware of it, like in my psyche. I was just looking at this guy, I was like, nah, I can't believe I I fucked up like this and ended up with a Kenobia. Yeah, because you can't change a man. You really can't. You can't change anyone anyway, unless someone wants to change. And having given the person enough time to change, having all this time, even since like we broke up and now we were back on. So I was just trying to see, because now since we were on and then quickly I got pregnant. So I was just trying to assess and analyze, like, how is this man now after all this time that we've been away from each other? Now that I even have a child for him, now that he has claimed that he loves me so much and he's been pursuing me all this time, now how is he now? How is he what kind of a man is he? So I was like very shocked to find that he had even gotten deeper into Kenobianess. Yeah, because for me, signs that for a man who cannot make decisions on his own, a man who cannot, decide executively what he's going to do in his life unless he consults with his friends, unless he consults with his family, for me, it's just defeating. It's just disappointing, and it's just pathetic to watch. A man who's overly emotional, you keep crying like, hey, yo, bruh, you can't be crying more than me. Seriously, no, I don't expect that. Seriously, no. I didn't grow up watching that happen, so I can't live with that. I can't accept that as a normal thing. Yeah, I'm not saying that men should not cry, and I'm not saying that there are things that will not make a man to cry, but I really am not interested in seeing a man's tears, and even if I do, it has to just be a very devastating situation, totally devastating. Seriously, like maybe someone you really love died, like your mother, your sister, I don't know, something like that, your child. Otherwise, and it has to be just like a tiny tear huko, like ile machozi unapanguzanga haraka, like you totally completely wipe that tear very fast, I want a stoic man, a man who's decided, a man who's a CEO of his own life, because I am the CEO of my own life and I'm a woman. So me, I'm controlling the people in my life executively. So I need you to do the same. How can I submit to you if you do not do, if you don't do that yourself? If you cannot sit down and tell me, okay, I have been having this idea, babe, and I'm thinking this is what we are going to do. Having not consulted with anyone, just you and your God, is that not enough? Do you have to go sit down with a chama with your boys and tell them everything you're trying to do, everything you're going through with your baby mama, or your family issues and all these things? Me, that's not the kind of person I am. So I cannot, it's hard. It's not going to be possible for me to respect you and to submit myself wholeheartedly to you, because I don't trust in your direction. I don't believe in you 100%. So how, that's going to be lying to myself. Again, it comes to choosing myself. Because why will I lie to myself that I trust you, that I trust your decisions? Because I'm just signing up for disappointment. I'm setting myself up for disappointment, for heartache, for failure. Because I cannot understand why it's hard for you to do your own things without consulting. I don't understand. So that's the first sign of a weak man for me. If you cannot choose and pick and choose your life and do it the way you see fit, that you have to consult, you have to have these meetings, you have to, do it with other people. I am there for you. I am your support. I am the one who you're supposed to give those. Delegate to me those nitty-gritties that you don't want to do. I will do them, because we are doing this together. It is our empire we are creating, not ours and Kamau's and Njoroge's and the others. They all know what we are doing, what we are about. No, come on. Like, where is the sovereignty in your state? You think now Kenya and Uganda, they come together and they decide, oh, we want to target something and we're going to do it together. Unless it's a specific project, that's different. But if it's something, in the core, like, or very specific to who Kenya is or who Uganda is, do you think they'll go consulting another country? So why do you not see yourself in the same light? So no, for me, I don't believe in that. So anyway, that's the kind of guy that I was dating. And for me, I just decided. I remember deciding this, and it may seem very harsh, but I was just like, no, I cannot let a weak man raise my kid. I can't, because my kid is going to end up being weak, and they're going to end up being very confused with the society and very confused in their position in life, And I also don't understand a man who's not able to stand up for themselves. Yes, I understand that there are situations where you need to be wiser and, choose not to do anything, or choose silence over confrontation. but not every time. There are also times, you have to have boundaries in life. That's all I'm saying. And you can't have like female friends who you're calling babe and sweetheart and all this and think that it's playful and like it's harmless and dear and all this. No, I'm your only dear, I'm your only babe, I'm your only sweetheart. The only other people you are allowed to give that name to is your mother, your sister, your daughter, maybe your cousin. It has to be a very tight cousin anyway, but even that is a little bit far-fetched. Why are you calling your cousin dear, babe, sweetheart? Why? Yes, it's only people who are directly in your flesh and blood, unless you grew up with your cousin like your sister, like you grew up in the same house and all that. For me, no. Any other random person you're calling babe, sweetheart, no. And I don't entertain that nonsense from people also. You're not going to come out there from anywhere, a man, until you think you want to flirt with me and you're going to come calling me dear, babe, sweetheart. Hey, who? Who's? Where? How? You don't know me like that. Use my name, or just forget about my name and come straight to the point and tell me what it is you're talking about. Don't waste my time with all these sugary words. For what? They do nothing for me. Okay? Anyway, I didn't even know, and I never even tested, like I never went for a CT scan to see like whether I'm having a boy or a girl or anything. But no, this guy's Kenodianess was another level, and I just didn't see myself like living like that. And honestly, ladies, the guy was a good guy. Yes, he was a provider, and he provided, and the sex was good. Although, I think I had a higher sex drive than him. Like, yeah, he had a tendency of claiming headaches and things like that. I'm like, hey, dude, where are you from? But anyway, that's beside the point. So it was never about the money or about like a sexual fulfillment that I wasn't getting from him. For me, I just saw danger in my life, and I saw danger for my kid. I was like, no way. A man who's not able to stand on his firm decision, a man who's, like a man who wants me to make the most decision, like wants me to take direction. I don't want, honestly, I don't. Why are you abjugating your duty post? Why are you giving me the power that is rightfully yours? I don't want an Esau in my life. Oh, I don't. One who's going to give away his birthright just so that he can seem nice. He can be called nice. He can be called, I don't know, so that you can seem like what? I don't know, so that you can appear likable to the general population. Like, fuck that. Excuse my French. No, I do not allow, and I do not agree with that. I don't subscribe to such bullshit. Miss me with that. So for me, I just couldn't allow this to happen. And, I decided to walk out. I walked out at 3 months. Was I 3 months pregnant? Was I barely? Yeah, I think April, May, June. Yeah, I think I was about 3 to 4 months pregnant there. I walked out. It was the 1st of August. Was it the 1st or 2nd? Yeah, the 1st of August. I've never forgotten. 1st of August 2013. I walked out on this guy, and I just left. I was like, no. I just packed my things and just disappeared, because because I'd already tried talking. I'd already tried, and he was ignoring me. He didn't think it was important what I was talking about. And you're trying to get someone so that you can start planning, as in, so babe, what are you going to do? How are you going to plan this life? What are you going to do for the baby? What are you going to do for business, for money? You're trying to put these things in motion. You're the one initiating when he's the one who's supposed to initiate. So obviously there's no input from him. So you just feel alone in this. So what is the point of being together anyway? You'd rather be alone. You go be alone and do your thing. So that's how I ended up being a single mom. And yeah, I really did want for us to, I wanted him to man up. I wanted him to like see the value in us being away, like me and my pregnant self. I wanted him to see that he needed us and all that, and that he could actually be a better man, and that he was going to lose something valuable in his life, but he didn't see it. He didn't. And that's the part that maybe hurts me, because, he'd already convinced me how much he loves me. But he thought I was just going to stick around, and I was going to just hang around and, like, I don't know, watch him disrespect me or like all these things. No, I just couldn't let that happen. And I wondered, like, what kind of life. I didn't want to raise my son in a toxic situation, because I knew, for me, if I was to continue living with this person, if I was to, like, give my life over to this person, I would end up being a very toxic person, because then I'd have to be forceful about the things that I wanted, because he's very calm and collected, and he's very, like, he's too relaxed, he's too laid back. Like, I'm not saying these things are bad. You can be laid back and also firm. Like, he was just lacking that firmness in his life, that ability to set up boundaries, that ability to be strong about things that you're deciding to do. And that value for me is priceless. It's more than any kind of, idea of stability, or, conforming to some societal ideal of being married. Like, it's like some sort of trophy to be married or something. So yeah, I didn't know much about it then, but I decided to do it alone, and I decided I was strong enough on my own. And true to my word, now it's 9 years later. My son is now 8 years. Yeah, it's actually 9 years this May since I walked out. Oh, actually, it's going to be 9 years in August. So yeah, it's about those 9 years now. And I've done quite okay for myself. Yeah, it's not, I would have done better if we were two of us, because two are better than one. But when I look at my son and I see how he carries himself and how his mentality and everything, I'm proud of him. I'm very proud of him. He's like, he's much more of a man than many other men I've come across, in his little, because men are just boys. They're just boys inside. It's only that they've grown up and they have this voice and they have this big body and all that. But they're still that little boy that they were inside. So if your boy from the get-go is a strong-minded person, a man who can a boy who can make decisions on his own and can say no, he can stand up for himself, he knows what's right to do, what's wrong to do, he knows when to apologize, he knows when not to, he knows when to stand up for himself, he knows, when to pick a fight, who to pick a fight with, when to avoid a fight, when you can just, when you should punch people when they deserve it. He knows. I'm so proud of him. He knows how to treat ladies. Like, he treats girls very well. When I see him playing with girls, he treats them very well. He's such a gentleman. I'm so proud of him. I can't even believe it. I can't even say it's my own work. This is the work of the Lord. Praise be to the Most High. I'm so proud of my son, honestly. He's going to be such an amazing man. I believe in him. He's going to be someone's great husband, someone's awesome dad. Yes. And that's my son. And that's enough man for me, Yes, I'm still in the market for a man who's, man enough for me. Yeah, one who's able to tell me, Apana, Waboy, this is what I want us to do. And he didn't consult with Joroke or Kamau. No, he decided. And he came and said, no, Waboy, this is what we are doing. And I need you to do ABCD. He delegates and it gets done. Yes, that's the kind of man I need in my life. One who doesn't even need to raise his voice. One who doesn't need to beat me or, I don't know, insert force in anything that he does, because he's powerful in his aura. His aura is powerful. Like, when he comes into a room, people respect. They recognize. When he speaks, people respect what he says. That's the kind of man for me that I will subject to. I'm a very good wife, honestly. I'm a good woman. I don't need anyone to validate me. I can cook, I can clean, I can keep the house together, I can raise the kids and make sure that they're well behaved. Me, I'm a very good woman. I know my role. I'm a nurturer and I am very proud in it. I'm great at my momness. Yes. Yes, of course, we have our days of weakness. That nobody is immune to that. But for me, I know that I am a gem of a woman. And any man, not any man, the man who is worthy of me will be very proud of me. He will be very proud to have me as his wife, and he will not even require any other. Not because he doesn't have a wandering eye, because that's normal. I think even women have wandering eyes. You're not immune to looking at another man and saying, wow, what nice abs. What a nice smile. What a deep voice. You're not immune to that. So why do men feel like they're the only ones who suffer from temptation? Even women do. The only determining factor here is, will you go through it? Will you allow your temptation to take over you? Will you allow something as small as a temptation to take over you? Why don't you just bring that thought to bed and come after your wife like nobody's business, Yeah. Bomoa vitu kabisa, yeah, that's how you get over that temptation. Kwani it's just a woman like any other. Like your own woman. And your own woman is desirable to you. Your man is desirable to you. That's why you picked them. So why do you have to have these hundreds of partners to feel some sort of way about yourself? Because it's not even about, how many hours are you going to dedicate to sex, really? You have I don't know how many women. So how many times are you going to be wasting your energy on sex? Sexual energy is very precious. Sexual energy is very powerful. And if you can find one person, just one, who you share this sexual energy with, this union is so beautiful. You can create beautiful kingdoms and universes with your person, because it is a union of the mind, the soul, the spirit. Everything that's sacred comes together when you have sex with your person. So that's why casual sex is just not a thing. It's not a thing that you should subscribe to. And if you've already been doing it, if you've done it in the past, just stop. We are all allowed. Every day is a new day. Every day, every morning, every rise of the sun, every setting of the moon is a new dawn for you to be a different person. You're not the same person you were yesterday. I'm not the same person I was yesterday. So if you know me from 10 years ago and you're like, this chick, I used to know her, she was like this. You used to know me. Key is the word used. Now, you don't know me. You do not even know a fraction of who I am. Because I've changed, I've evolved. It's only foolish people who don't evolve. Only dumb people who want to stay the same. And as a result, I've had to leave so many people in my life because people refuse to grow. There's something that happens to people when they grow up. When you pass 18 years of age, you feel like, and I'm seeing it happen with my nephew right now that he's finished his Form 4. There's this comfort that comes with being part of a clique. And now you and your clique, you want to maintain some certain status quo that you believe in, your clique believes in. So because of that status quo that you guys believe in, you never want to change from it. You don't want to evolve. And if one of you tries to, unless you evolve all of you onto a different platform where you believe a different set of things and you can grow and evolve together, those are the only kinds of friendships that matter. And we can only pray that we find these kinds of friendship, that our children create these kinds of friendship for themselves, because they are very awesome and they help people through life. There are people who can build these kinds of relationships, and they really do come through for us, for each individual at very pristine times in their life, like very key points in their life, crucial times in their life. This group of people usually play a large role in supporting and encouraging one person to keep going. So these other kinds of relationships that we create, these cliques that we come into, I don't know, in our jobs, in university, I don't know, high school, college, whatever setting it is, unless this person you grew with them, They've seen you grow from the time you were like 5 or 8 or something. You became friends and you have been going around. You're wanting the same things for each other. Like, yeah, I want to go to this school, and then you find yourself you've gone to that school. The other guy went to that school, and I want to try this master's degree. You go and do that master's, and they do their own thing, and those are the kind of friendships I'm talking about. The best kinds of friendships start from when you're very young. Yeah, from a very young age in your life. And they start from because that's when who you really are is shining through. Yeah, that's who you really are, and you don't want to lose that childhood aspect of you, because that's the most you will ever be, and that's the best kind of you will ever be. Yeah. So when you grow up and now all you want to do is do what your friends are doing, and your friends want to do what the society is doing, and the society is propagating the thing to be done now by youth is to sit around and drink Coca-Cola. You'll sit around and drink Coca-Cola. If the thing to do is to sit around and watch Netflix, you'll sit around and watch Netflix. You'll sit around and drink, go to parties, miss your classes, avoid your responsibilities, and years will go by. Yeah. You'll have a baby, she'll have a baby, the other one will have a baby, and then you'll keep, you'll go on this fake and unsustainable culture that you have created, and it's not going to be good for any one of you or for your kids. It's so unfortunate. And there's this thing now that, I think I should save it for another topic, because that's another challenge as a single mom that I've experienced, and I just walked away from. I've just been walking away from situations, because this whole misery loves company. And the world we're living in today, we have to accept that a lot of us are miserable. Whether it's because of trauma we faced when we were young, whether it's because of the society and how the things are right now, they're so depressing things, and it's going to be depressing. It's always been depressing anyway. But what you choose to do with the circumstances that you're served is what determines how your life will play out. So instead of like taking comfort in a group, like, oh, there's comfort in number, so I just want to be to feel accepted. I want to feel loved in this environment. I want to be part of a group so that I won't be alone. But what is the group really like? What are the values of this group? What is the group really trying to do with their life? Is there anything they're really trying to do? Are they trying to make themselves better humans? Or are they just there to compete with me? Are they just adding, more players to the game so that they can see how high ranking they are in the group? For me, I just walked away from many situations. I don't want to be part of it. Either to be the top player, or to be the bottom player, or to be even any player in the middle. To be one of them who reveres, or who, ascribes or subscribes to some sort of mentality that really does nothing for me or for my kids or for anyone, my generations to come, because I'm not going to be just me forever. Even now, I'm already not just me. I'm me and my son. There's an extension of me in the world, and they'll keep extending. Once he has kids, it will be me, my son, and his kids. So this extension of yourself is going to continue happening. So what are you going to propagate? What do you want to see of yourself years from now? You will be a grandma one day. What will your kids say about you? What will your grandkids say about you? Oh, our grandma just does TikTok videos. Our grandma is famous for doing only me fan pages. Girl, wake up. Oh. Hey, being a single mom is not a terrible thing. It's a good thing. If the man in your life is not doing anything for you, if he's not matching your values, your beliefs, all that, hey, money is the last thing you should worry about. Money. God gives money. God provides, let me tell you. He will never let you go hungry. Us guys have never gone hungry. We've never lacked. Yeah. We have never lacked in anything. Even school, he's never lacked a day of school, or he lacked like uniform or anything. He never lacked. Even when I sleep wondering, oh my God, what am I going to do? Rent is coming, fees is coming. I wonder, I cry about it. I worry about it. But now I'm feeling even less and less worried, because I've come to understand God has proven to me time and time again that He's always there and that He will always provide. So I need not worry about tomorrow, because it's going to take care of itself, as it has many times taken care of itself, and it will continue to take care of itself. And soon he'll be a grown up. He'll be doing his own things out in the world, and we'll just see the magic that he creates. So I need to take care of him first. He's the most important thing. His mindset, his heart, his feelings, to prevent him from unnecessary trauma. There's trauma that he's going to encounter anyway when he's an adult, based on the decisions that he takes upon himself to make. But now, as his mom, as his protector, his provider, his everything, I need to protect him from trauma. I need to protect him from experiencing things that unnecessary things he doesn't need to experience, So that's my job. So I take it very seriously, because it's protecting his mind and his innocence, so that he can just be a kid, so that when he's an adult, he can be an adult. He can transition into adulthood without feeling that, I want to go back to being a kid, Yeah, because he feels unfulfilled. Let him fulfill his childhood right now. His childlikeness. Let him be completely a child right now, because it's his right to be a child. If he wants to cry, let him cry. If he wants to be mad and, I don't know, throw a simple tantrum and I don't know what, let him feel however he wants to feel, because those are his feelings. Let him understand himself now, because, later he can be able to be like, I used to do those things. Now he can be like, that's just being a kid. He can identify that he's being a kid when he's being a kid. Then he identifies that he needs to be a man when he needs to be a man, Anyway, that's just my rant on being a single parent or a single mom by choice. I choose this life, yes, and I'm still waiting for a man who's like man enough to see that, or I'm waiting for the Almighty, the Most High, to send me the man that is of my caliber, yeah. So that I can be the wife of his caliber, That's all I'm asking. I'm asking for my match, my partner in this life. So, yeah, single mom by choice and happy. And I'm not searching, I'm not desperate. One day at a time, and we're gonna get there. We're gonna achieve whatever it is we need to achieve. We're going to get to that unknown destination that we are supposed to get to, because that's our fate, our destiny, and we embrace it. And with that, thanks for listening, guys. Most Def is out. Bye.